Thanks Microfactor for sponsoring this video.
On today's video, we are cooking YouTuber's favorite food. Nick, what's your favorite food?
One of my favorite foods is grilled pizza. Try to make it. I know you like grills, but can you grill a pizza?
How do you do it?
I'll send you a recipe.
It all starts by stretching pizza dough with a generous amount of olive oil, because if you don't put it, you'll be in trouble. Next, we gotta jump onto the grill. Now this is extremely tricky, and let me show you why. It's all about temperature control, and most importantly, knowing when to flip. My first go was a complete disaster. I burnt it right away. My second go went the same exact way. The charcoal was too hot and I took too long to flip. Then I started getting it. As on my third try, it went a little bit better. The wonderful thing about a grilled pizza is that you must have some char, but of course not overdo it. As once that was done, I threw in some olive oil, some shredded mozzarella, a tiny bit of parsley, and a few dabs of tomato sauce. To finish it off, some scallions. Now notice that I'm cooking in indirect heat. There's no charcoal underneath it, and that is the key, as now you want to close the whole thing up and you're left with this grilled pizza. It takes time to learn this recipe, but the most important thing is, since this is Nick's favorite recipe, is it good? How does it taste?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Very different flavor. What do you think, Leo? I'm not used to this one. It's very unique.
This is, if you're expecting to bite into this and realize or remember a Domino's pizza or something, no.
Domino's pizza?
All right, maybe like well, you went to Italy, okay, bro? Nothing's gonna compare to that. What I compare it to is a normal traditional style of pizza that I'm used to. This is a world of difference. I like this nice char that you get on the bottom of the pizza. It adds another flavor profile there that makes it nice. I think everything above the dough is pretty standard. It's a great pizza. I have no complaints. I have no complaints, period, actually, because the dough itself is actually very smoky. It's a new type of pizza.
This is quite unique. You should give it a try, but be careful. Make sure not to burn it.
Hey Guga! What's up, brother? My favorite recipe is natto toast.
And this is natto. If you are like me, you're probably wondering, what in the world is it? Well, let me open and show you. Because friends, this is one of the weirdest food I've ever seen in my life. And the fact that Bayashi loves this is absolutely insane to me. It has a slimy texture, an extremely pungent smell, and a lot of people say that it has an earthy flavor, which usually that is not a good thing. If you are wondering what it is fermented soybeans. But a lot of people in Japan love this. I think it's one of those things that you must grow up eating it. However, since I never had it, I had an open mind and we were ready to try.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Oh. Oh my God. I thought you were gonna eat it, Leo. Ah! So first, let me apologize to all my Japanese friends, but this is something very unique. And if you did not grow up eating this, what do you think, Leo?
I think even if I grew up eating this, bro, I'd be a sad person. This is I couldn't even feel the texture because the flavor, as soon as it touches your tongue, is so strong, it's so fermented, it almost tastes like you're eating mold.
This one is not for us.
Hey Guga, what's up, brother? You asked for my favorite food? You already know it. It's tacos. I've seen you cook al pastor tacos, birria tacos, but you need to try suadero tacos. Very, very Mexican food. Just take a large pot, 50% water, 50% pork lard. You can try if you want beef tallow. Try to get roast meat. It's the most authentic, but if not, brisket is gonna work great.
And this is rose meat. You're probably unfamiliar with it. As you can clearly see, it's nice and thin, usually reddish and pinkish. It is beef. It's lean, tender, and this is what it looks like. It's usually used for tacos, burritos, or stir fry. Now this meat can be quite tough, so the right way to cook it is after preparing it. You want to season it with a generous amount of salt and cook it with this ingredient. Oh yes, pork lard, also known as pork fat. You want to go ahead and add a generous amount into the pot, and as soon as it's melted, go ahead and throw the rose meat in there. Now we're going to be doing a technique called confit. And if you've ever been to a taqueria in Mexico, this is normally how most meats are cooked. And most of the time you can use lean cut of meats like this. Just make sure to add water little by little, because if you don't, things will burn, and that's the last thing we want. At the same time, you can throw other types of meat. A sausage will do just fine. So you want to go ahead and cook this for a few hours. As once it's done, you want to drain it from that liquid gold. Now to make the taco, it's pretty simple. There's one thing you must do. You want to grab your corn tortilla and slather on this fat. Then immediately go to cook it up on a skillet. Do the same exact thing with the roast meat. As we want to provide a little bit of sear, we all love golden brown pieces of meat, and that is a must. As once that's done, set it down on a cutting board, and just like a taquero, go ahead and chop the whole thing up, combining every single pieces together, even the sausage. Now you want to go ahead and start your taco. Make sure to be generous with the amount of meat. Finish it up with some cilantro and onions, and of course add a tiny bit of that fat that was left over on the pot, because this is suadero tacos. If you've never had this one, you are in for a treat.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is the juiciest taco I've ever had. It's like literally just running with fat, rich deliciousness. It's so beefy, so bold, so in your face. This is nice.
It's super nice and juicy, and all these greens on top, like they try to balance it out, but it's really hard.
It's too fatty for you, man.
There's no balancing this out. It's very fatty. Even the tortilla's wet. It feels like this is a birria taco, but I didn't have to dip it in birria. Like
More fat, more better.
You know, normally I'm not a fan of like corn tortillas, but I think in this way, it's actually really nice. The crumbliness with the, I know you're judging. Give me a second.
You respect the corn tortilla.
Hey, I'm saying here, it's really good. The meat is so soft, but the actual tortilla is nice and crumbly, so like it's a nice contrast.
Shout out to you, brother, because this is incredible. Now, who's coming up next?
Hey Guga, you wanted to know what one of my favorite things to cook is? It would be easy for me to say whole hog since I started to killer hogs. But let me tell you about beef cheeks. I've been on a kick lately. They're succulent, they're tender, they melt in your mouth. When beef cheeks are cooked to perfection, some of the best eating there is. Give it a try.
And these are beef cheeks. As you can clearly see, they have great marbling, which is this little spectacle of fat that you can see throughout the meat. It's also one of those meats that's still affordable, but you gotta know how to cook it properly. And here's my take on it. The first thing to do is to season them really good. You wanna go ahead and throw in your favorite barbecue rub, and be generous with it, as this will be cooking for some time. Talking about that, into the smoker it goes. You wanna cook it at 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep it nice and slow, which is the way to go. After about 3 to 4 hours, this is what they look like. The only thing left to do is to go ahead and serve it your preferred way. For me, I just added a tiny bit of cotija cheese on top, followed by some scallions. Because let me tell you something, it is one of those meats that you can eat it however you want, as it's super nice and tender, extremely juicy, and if you love brisket but you don't want to cook a whole one, give this one a go. But that's my opinion. Let's see what everyone else think.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Oh. That is extremely juicy, extremely smoky. This thing has a beautiful bark on it where the edges are nice and crispy, but the inside is moist, tender. This is like a waterfall of juice.
I like cheeks.
I've never had beef cheek.
Hey.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Pepe like cheeks and he cannot lie.
In all seriousness, it's a great piece of meat. It's super tender, super juicy, and that crust is amazing.
Don't want to cook a whole brisket? Cook the cheek.
Guga, what is up, bro? It is Jesse James West here. I hope you are having a great day, and you're about to have an even better day because of the meal that I recommend you make. It's my favorite. It's something that I always recommend when people ask me, what's your favorite food? M&M pancakes with Canadian maple syrup, real syrup, not the low-calorie BS stuff. And of course, don't forget to stay relentless, brother. All while doing it.
Every country in the world has its own version. The French has crepes, the Russian have blimi, Japan has super fluffy pancakes, but of course we have the classic. So after making a nice pancake batter, you want to go ahead and add Jesse's favorite ingredient, M&Ms. Just make sure not to burn your pancake. And since Jesse is always on a fit journey, this is his cheat meal. He really enjoys that real maple syrup. None of that sugar-free stuff. Now, I'm not too much of a sweet guy. I gotta be honest with you. This one might just hit different.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I mean, it is exactly what you would expect it to be. Delicious.
That's so sweet. That's perfect.
Especially after eating all this savory stuff.
This is the breakfast of champions, bro. Yeah. Forget meat, forget eggs, forget potatoes, M&M pancakes.
I love how fluffy it is and you get that crunch from the M&M.
Yeah, the M&M is a nice touch. I didn't think it was gonna work, but it actually works quite well.
I can't believe I'm talking about the texture of an M&M, but it's crunchy, it's nice, it's weird, but good.
Jesse, you do some crazy things in your video, and I know you like to eat healthy all the time, so your cheat meal is actually very, very good.
Oh,
Hey, Guga, what's up, brother? So I was thinking about one of my favorite dishes of all time. It's one of the Korean dishes, actually. It's called galbitang. It's beef rib soup.
Now the name galbitang literally means short rib soup. It is Korean comfort food for royalty, but it does take hours to make. Most importantly, it's all about balance. So after adding it to a bowl with a generous amount of water, you want to cook it for a little bit to remove all of the impurities and take out all of the beef and start the process once again. That way you will have a nice clean broth towards the end. Now you want to add all of these ingredients because let me tell you something, this takes time, but if you do it correctly, it will be divine. Galbitang is often enjoyed in weddings, holidays, and birthdays. It's a dish that says this matters. After a few hours, you want to go ahead and remove the whole thing and go ahead and strain the broth because you're left with liquid gold. Now the only thing left to do is to put it together in a bowl. Traditionally it's served with rice, but I went with clear noodles. On top of that, I went ahead and added a generous amount of short ribs, followed by that beautiful broth, and I only wish you could smell it. To finish it up, I added the Korean radish and a generous amount of green onions. And this is galbitang. If you love ramen or pho, you gotta try this. Believe me when I tell you, friends, it's one of those dishes that is life-changing.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. Dude, that broth is crazy. Super flavorful.
You know, it does take time to make it, but it's so worth it, everybody. Especially if you love any type of ramen or anything rich, that's what you get here.
I'm actually shocked how flavorful this is.
Yeah.
There's layers upon layers upon layers of flavor, so it's not like a simple type of taste. The beef actually soaked up a lot of that broth as well, and everything culminates into a beautiful bite.
The whole star right here is definitely the beef, everybody. These short ribs are super tender and juicy. I'm gonna continue eating because we're moving on to the next one. Before moving forward, I want to thank today's sponsor, Macro Factor. All right, let's be real for a second. Losing weight is hard when you're guessing what or how much to eat. I know that struggle better than anyone. I used to think that I was eating 2,000 calories a day. Turns out it was more like 3,000. But here's the thing, it's not about willpower. It's about awareness and having a smart plan that actually works. I started using Macro Factor and it changed the game. This app makes food tracking so much easier and smarter. You just snap a photo of your plate and it estimates the calories for you. It is fast, accurate, and super intuitive. The best part is that it actually adjusts to your body and habits. This is not some generic cookie cutter plan. It learns from what you do. Macro Factor tracks your intake, monitors your weight, and adjusts your plan automatically. So even when life isn't perfect, you can still make progress. I lost over 100 pounds and this is the only system that actually felt sustainable. Why? Because it fits my life, not the other way around. With Macro Factor, I stay consistent, I stay motivated, and I finally saw results I can stick with. If you've been struggling to lose weight, track your food, or just stay on top of your goals, give Macro Factor a shot. Try it free for 14 days with my code GUGA. Thanks Macro Factor for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get right back to it.
Hey Guga, how you doing? You know my favorite thing to eat is spaghetti alle vongole. Spaghetti cooked with nice little clams, extra virgin olive oil, garlic, parsley, white wine, and lots of love.
Now this dish is a masterclass of simplicity. It's a Neapolitan classic because everything starts off with this, vongole, which means clams in Italian. This is a very popular dish during Christmas Eve, and you can cook the whole thing under 20 minutes. Let me show you. Into a pan you want to throw in some olive oil, followed by some garlics and parsley ends. Stir that up just a little bit, and as soon as it starts becoming fragrant, go ahead and add all of your clams. Now add some white wine and cover the whole thing up so that it can steam. Make sure to shake it from time to time, as once it's fully cooked, they will open up just like this. Now you want to go ahead and strain the whole thing, remove some of the clams from the shell and set it aside. Now into a new pan throw in some olive oil, followed by garlic, pepperoncino, and some parsley. Stir that up real good and go ahead and add the clams. Mix everything together until it's become extremely fragrant. As then you want to throw in your spaghetti, toss it so all of the flavor can go to the spaghetti. Now add some of that clam water that we strained previously, shake it vigorously and toss it so that everything can emulsify. This might take some time, but it is a must because once you're done, the only thing left to do is to plate it. So go ahead and add that to the plate, followed by a few pieces of clam, ones with the shell and ones without it, and finish it up with some parsley. Now there's one thing that I don't recommend you do, and that is to add Parmesan cheese on top. Don't do it, because if you do, Italians will no longer talk to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That is very good.
If you love seafood, you're gonna like this one here, okay? What do you think, Fefe?
Lot of like fishiness in this pasta, but in the best possible way.
If you're looking for seafood in a pasta, this is what you should be looking for.
I'll be honest with you, it will not be my #1 pick out of all the pastas because my favorite pasta is cacio e pepe. But this, what do you think, Leo, before I go on?
I love the flavor of seafood that you have in the actual pasta. You also have garlic notes and other flavors in here that give you something to look forward to. The thing that is a little bit different, I like a pasta with like a very thick, nice, delicious, flavorful sauce. This sauce is a little bit more laid back. It's more elegant, I will say. Like this dish is more about the pasta, the seafood, the simple ingredients.
Don't listen to Leo. This is a good pasta, but obviously cacio e pepe is a lot better and carbonara. You want to say carbonara, just say it.
I like the carbonara, baby. Come on.
Carbonara is better, but if you love seafood, you're gonna love this one. Cheers, everybody.
My favorite food of all time, without a doubt, is a chicken shawarma. When you order it, you have to get it with 2 things and 2 things only. You can't do lettuce or tomato. It has to be with pickles and garlic sauce. That's it.
There's many different ways to cook shawarma. The traditional way is normally on a big spit, but we are focusing on a version that you can do it at home. And here's how it goes. The first thing we gotta do is the spice mix. So into a bowl, I threw in some smoked paprika, followed by cumin, onion powder, salt, sugar, coriander, chili powder, cardamom, turmeric, MSG, 5-spice, garlic powder, and cinnamon. Now mix that up real good, and this is your shawarma mix. And add a generous amount of olive oil, as this will infuse a tremendous amount of flavor into your chicken. Talking about that, go ahead and add some chicken thighs. Now you want to make sure you coat all of them properly, and I highly recommend letting them marinate overnight. The very next day, if you have available, go ahead and get yourself a skewer. Add those chicken thighs right into it, but if you don't have a skewer, you can just grill the chicken thighs directly. But the wonderful thing about a chicken shawarma skewer, it will give you different texture and flavor. Talking about that, outside we go to grill it directly on charcoal. Oh yes. Keep rotating the whole thing as necessary, as we want to cook it nice and slow, but at the same time get a little bit of char. The key here is to let the drippings hit the charcoal and come back up as flavor. And believe me when I tell you, friends, it is worth doing it this way, as once they're perfectly cooked to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, you want to go ahead and bring them inside, start carving them. As you can clearly see, because they are chicken thighs, they are super juicy. Now we make shawarma. Get yourself some lavash bread, add a generous amount of the chicken right on top. Let's make a quick sauce. For that, into a food processor, I threw in some mayo, followed by some garlic, sugar, and salt. Now mix that up real good, and that's your sauce. It's that simple. Now go ahead and drizzle that right on top, as now you want to throw in some pickles, close the whole thing up, and toast it directly on a skillet. Because once you're done, you are left with shawarma. Shawarma is incredible. Don't believe me? Well, you just wait and see.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Wow, that is super delicious. It's so flavorful, and the thing that comes out of me the most is it's just so juicy. You have a nice flavorful sauce that adds even more moisture to this dish. I like the fluffiness of the outside like bread. The pickles actually give a nice amount of acidity that really balances the flavors inside of it out.
It's just chicken and pickles.
And sauce. Amazing. Let's move on to the next.
All right, my favorite food has to be bibimbap with the bulgogi, pickled cucumbers and carrots. You got sweet, salty, acidic, spicy, everything in one, and you feel really great after eating it.
We first start by marinating the beef, creating bulgogi style. So into a bowl, I threw in some sliced filet mignon, followed by soy sauce, rice vinegar, some garlic, and MSG. Mix that up real good and combine these ingredients together. And to finish it up, add some brown sugar. Now mix it a little bit more and let the whole thing marinate. As that's happening, into a wok, throw in some olive oil and start to cook some mushrooms with salt. Stir that up real good, as once it's fully cooked, using the same wok, stir-fried whatever vegetables you like. I went with some spinach and sesame seeds. Next, there's one thing that I really love on my bibimbap, and that would be a fried egg. Just make sure the yolk is nice and runny. But of course, the star of the dish will always be the beef. You want to go ahead and cook the whole thing in a wok. Make sure not to overdo it though, because remember, I'm using filet mignon. To finish up the bibimbap, we need a sauce to go along with it. So into a bowl, I throw in some mirin, followed by rice vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, and gochujang paste. Now mix that up real good until it's fully dissolved, as in the end, you are left with this incredible sauce to go along with your bibimbap. Now the only thing left to do is to assemble. I like to start with a generous amount of rice, followed by the spinach to keep things healthy, of course the mushrooms, some pickled carrots, a few pickled cucumbers, we can't forget about the meat, and obviously the fried egg goes right in the middle. Now this is my take on Korean bibimbap. Now does it taste as good as it looks? Well, we're about to find out right now.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
It's bibimbap and it's bulgogi. I grew up eating this.
I actually really like this marinated meat.
What's spicy in there?
Yeah, a little bit of gochujang.
Oh, it's the sauce?
It's the sauce, yeah. Do you feel that?
Yeah, very flavorful, very good. It has a lot of textures. The meat is soft, solid dish. It's just a little spicy for me right now.
It is spicy, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, it's actually pretty good. I like the spiciness. It's like another element there to make this dish fun. Everything combines together and makes a nice dish. These things individually, maybe they wouldn't be so good, but together as one meal, it's actually really nice. I think it's good, but it's not great.
Hey Guga, what's up, brother? One of my favorite foods is Taiwanese beef noodle soup. It's beef bone broth made with stewed beef shank, no bone, with long noodles, not rice noodles. Would love to see you make it.
Now this is the unofficial national dish of Taiwan. It was created by military veterans. And like Chubby Emo says, noodles matter. And locals eat it year-round. Now everything starts with this, boneless beef shank. And we gotta cook it for a while. But if you have a pressure cooker, that helps. So go ahead and throw that in with some water, followed by ginger, scallions, and some Shaoxing wine. Now go ahead and let that cook. Now the secret is in its spices. Here we have Japanese chili pepper, bay leaf, star anise, white pepper, coriander, Sichuan peppercorn, cloves, and nutmeg. Now set it aside as we're going to be using it very shortly. Now into a wok, throw in some oil, followed by all of these ingredients, which is white onions, scallions, ginger, and garlic. Stir fry that for a little bit. Now add some soybean paste, mix that with all of the vegetables. Now add some tomatoes, stir that up a little bit more. Now add some Shaoxing wine, followed by light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, and a generous amount of some beef stock. Now mix that up real good and let the whole thing come up to temperature. Now add 2 sticks of cinnamon, followed by all of the spices we previously put together. Mix the whole thing up. Now add some Chinese 5 spice and mix it a little bit more, because by this time our beef shank is fully cooked. Go ahead and open the pressure cooker, remove all of the beef shank, add that directly to the wok, baste it and let the whole thing cook a little bit more. This will produce an incredible amount of flavor. Now add an apple cooked in half and let it cook for at least 5 hours. Oh yes, this takes some time, and as you can clearly see, it's one of the most elaborate dishes I've cooked on this video. As once you're done, you want to go ahead and strain the whole thing, chop up the beef shank, and as you can clearly see, it's one of those meats most people are not used to. But now the only thing left to do is to build it. You first want to add those noodles, followed by that incredible flavorful broth. Don't forget to add the beef shank, now steamed bok choy, a few scallions, and that is Taiwanese beef noodle soup. A dish that might look simple, but now you know how to make and you know how complex it is. Just wait for you to see. And if you've never experienced one, it's something you definitely should.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. Mmm. This broth is fantastic. I'm so used to like a deep savory broth, but this is a little bit sweet, a little bit fruity. I can feel like very floral flavors, almost like star anise type of thing going on here. I like how the noodles absorb that broth perfectly, but the meat is throwing me off.
The meat? You don't like the meat?
It's super strange.
And that's my favorite part because all of the collagen has broken down. It is extremely tender and juicy. It's what makes this dish special for me.
This isn't ramen, but this is my new favorite ramen.
I know, right?
This is
so good.
Great dish.
Give it a try. You will not regret it. Shout out to you, brother.
Hey Guga, all the way from Tokyo, Japan. One of my favorite foods is a tonkatsu miso ramen with thin, stringy noodles. Also, you've got to have some pork chashu, some mema, and that spicy kick. Can't wait to see your version of it. And if you need some help with some of that spiciness, let me know because I can probably help.
Now everyone knows that a key to good ramen is always the broth. But one other thing that stands out the most for me from a tonkatsu ramen is the meat, the char siu. And I always like to focus on that because to make this, I love a pork belly for it. Oh yes. And after butterflying one, I went ahead and tied the whole thing up with butcher's twine so that it can keep its shape. Now into boiling water, I threw it in. You want to go ahead and cook this up for a little bit. This will make that skin nice and gelatinous. Now into a wok, I threw in some miriam, followed by Shaoxing wine, some pork stock, soy sauce, some ginger, scallions, MSG, and black pepper. Now mix that up real good and throw in the pork belly and let the whole thing reduce. Because after about 1 hour, take a look, char siu style. And as you can clearly see, the whole thing reduced beautifully. Now you want to go ahead and let it rest, as once you have done so, it's time to slice it nice and thin. Now before start plating, you want to go ahead and torch it, just like this, producing an incredible flavor to it. As now the only thing left to do is to plate it up, because I have shown how to make tonkatsu ramen before, and it is an entire process. Make sure to check that out on the description, as in the end, you are left one of the greatest food ever, especially if you take the time and you do it right. Ramen is delicious, but in the end of the day, for me, it's all about that char siu meat. And let's see how this one stacks up.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I mean, you cannot go wrong with that.
Ooh, that broth is kicking me right now.
Yeah, it's a little bit of spiciness. I use his own spiciness.
It's nice, like it adds to the dish. It doesn't take away from it. It's not too spicy where it overpowers the other flavors in here. It's just the nice, flavorful, rich tonkatsu ramen that we all love with a little bit of kick on it.
This is a great take on char siu. This tastes amazing. It's such a different flavor that you get with a pork belly like this. It's just so good. It's just perfect, man.
It is fatty, it is rich, it is the perfect meal to eat on a cold day. You know what tonkatsu tastes like. Shout out to you, Paolo. This is a winner.
My favorite food would have to be a huge medium rare steak. I'm talking massive, like maybe a tomahawk or something, topped with a compound butter. Maybe on the side we'll have some Parmesan, like truffle parm fries. That to me is the perfect meal.
And this is a tomahawk steak. It's named after a weapon, as it resembles the Native American tomahawk axe. It usually weighs up to 3 pounds. It's all about show, and expect to pay a premium for it. Now, I notice how I tied up the steak. That is so that it doesn't fall apart on me. For the seasoning, I kept it real simple. A generous amount of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. Once that was done, it was time for the compound butter. So into a bowl, I threw in some room temperature butter, followed by shallots, garlic, and parsley. Mix that up real good, threw it in some clinch plastic, rolled the whole thing up, and let it firm up in the refrigerator. As outside we go to cook up this tomahawk. The key with this is to get a nice, wonderful sear. Keep flipping the steak as many times as necessary to ensure that you get a beautiful crust. Because once I have a nice, beautiful one, I set it down in indirect heat so I can cook the steak all the way to Max's preferred doneness. Once that's done, you want to bring it inside, cut down that compound butter, set it down on top of the steak, and slowly melt the whole thing. The only thing left to do now is to go ahead and slice it up. And as you can clearly see, medium rare is the way to go. That we both agree, Max. But we're not done yet. As to go along with the tomahawk steak, Max enjoys some truffle fries. For that, after frying them, you want to go ahead and add some truffle oil, mix the whole thing up, add a tiny bit of salt, a generous amount of Parmigiano Reggiano, followed by some parsley, and there you have it. Of course, don't forget to add a little bit of salt on the side just in case. A beautiful tomahawk steak with truffle fries.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Did you eat this?
I had it together.
You like it? You like it?
Oh, hell, I like the truffle fried Guga. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's fancy, but it tastes really nice.
Okay, I'm glad you two are here because I absolutely hate it.
You actually don't like them, Guga? That's actually pretty good.
I hate the truffle fries.
But that steak is the real star of the show.
That steak is amazing. What do you think, Sebastian?
You can impress your date with that.
I mean, you don't need much. French fries and a steak. I would just say, for my taste, take away the truffle oil.
This steak has such a wonderful flavor too. It's garlicky, it's juicy. You can feel the charcoal that it has.
Me and Max, we are the meat people. We have similar taste. Max, that is delicious. Stay away from the truffles. I don't like it, but everyone else does.
You are the only man who can create it, who can forge it. What is it, you ask? Some brisket, tasty, yummy brisket along with mofongo mixed together. I think you are the guy up for the task of making my perfect fantasy meal.
Now, if you've never heard of mofongo, let me explain. It is Puerto Rico's unofficial national dish. Now, with mofongo, you either love it or hate it. Let me show you how it's made. You first start off with this, green plantains. You want to go ahead and remove all of the skin, cut it in smaller manageable pieces, and you go ahead and deep fry them until they are nice and tender, but not too tender. Now, don't confuse bananas with plantains. They are completely different. Bananas are soft and creamy. Plantains are firm and dense. Now, once they're fully fried, get yourself a pesto and mortar, throw in some garlic, followed by salt, a good amount of olive oil, smash that up real good until it becomes a paste, and throw in all of the plantains, followed by some butter. Now go ahead and mash the whole thing up. Now to make it Matt Hardy style, you want to throw in some pieces of brisket. Combine all of this together, and the only thing left to do is to serve it. And usually this is how they do it. You want to get a nice mold. A bowl works great. So go ahead and stuff the whole thing up, set it down on a plate, add even more brisket to it, and in the end you are left with this, brisket mofongo. I've never thought of this combination and I'm not quite sure if it's going to be good. But I can tell you one thing, mofongo is great, brisket is great. Now combining them both, will it be good? Well, let's find out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but I want to know what you think. Oh, you love it.
I love it. It is very good. Super weird combination, but the main thing I feel is a very garlic flavor from the mofongo. Yeah. I actually think it's a perfect combo because mofongo can be kind of dry, but the brisket juices mix. It's clear that you don't like it.
Pepe, you all right?
No, I'm fine now that it's good. It's on its way down now, but
that's not your thing?
Definitely not. Whatever that is. All right, the brisket was fine, but everything else is kind of crazy, man.
It's not for everybody. So this is mofongo, and mofongo is kind of weird for most people, especially for you because you're Brazilian. We don't eat plantains, almost nothing in Brazil, you know?
Yeah, true. This is super crumbly, like the texture's not right. It's too much garlic in this. All the fat from the brisket looked like it kind of soaked into it as well.
Yes.
It made it even worse.
I understand, Pepe. It's
Nah. I'm so sorry. He's hating. I actually love that. I love that mixture. The brisket literally adds juice to the mofongo, adding flavor, adding some little moisture to it. I like it a lot.
I understand, Pepe. Visually, it doesn't look appetizing.
I'll give you
but
that.
There's some flavor in there. Shout out to you, Matt. But yeah, I don't know about this combination. Maybe we stick it with the chicharrone.
My favorite food is a Lebanese dish called Kibe, and I would love to see you make it and get your take on it. Some people make it with ground beef, and it's a layered meat. First layer is basically ground beef. Second layer is like ground beef with pine nuts, onions, dibis ramen, which is basically pomegranate, molasses. I'd love to get your take on it.
If you are unfamiliar with kibe saniye, let me explain. It is basically a meat pie. Sani means tray in Arab. And the funny thing about this is that every family has their own secret recipe. Let me show you my take on it. You first want to get your hands on this bulgur wheat. You want to throw that into a bowl and add some boiling water to rehydrate the whole thing. Once that's done, go ahead and throw it in a separate bowl, followed by some ground beef or lamb, a generous amount of onions, some Aleppo pepper, salt, cumin, and black pepper. Now go ahead and mix the whole thing up until everything has combined together. Once that's done, to combine it even more, you want to go ahead and pass it through a food grinder. If you don't have one, you can always use a food processor too. Next, grab a plate, lay down some plastic film, go ahead and add your mix right on top. Make sure to press it down really good. Remove it and set that aside. Now into the same plate, add a generous amount of ghee, followed by another layer of the mix we previously made. Make sure to press it down real good. Now into a pan, throw in some ghee, which is basically clarified butter, followed by some shallots and ground beef. Go ahead and stir that up real good and season it with some salt and black pepper. Now fully cook this mixture, as once it's almost done, throw in some walnuts. Now go ahead and add that right on top. Make sure to press it down and make a nice thin layer. And here's why we did that first layer previously, because that goes right on top of it. As you can see, it is a perfect fit. If you wanted to make it traditional, go ahead and make some diamond cuts just like this. As once that's done, you want to add one pine nut on each, and into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit it goes to cook. As once that's done, this is what you're left with. Now I understand a lot of you never even tried it, but believe me friends, this is something you should definitely do it at home, especially if you are a meat lover like me. But is it good for everyone?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, I love it. It's incredible. For someone that never had it, what does it taste like? How do you describe it, Leo?
You got me. What I will say is I like how the ground beef bottom layer is super juicy, super fatty. The top layer is kind of like a pastry and a little bit dry, so the moisture from that ground beef helps it out a lot.
Exactly, so like different textures, you know what I mean? And I love kibe, everybody, I absolutely love. What do you think, Fefe?
Yeah, I grew up on this. The biggest difference here is that top layer is very different, and also I'm getting a little bit of like more nut flavor in this one. Like it's not, we don't really put nuts in the Brazilian version of that.
Exactly, we do not put nuts at all, everybody.
I really like it. It's flavorful and it's nice.
But those are all of my friends' favorite dishes. Let me know in the comments down below which one you like the most. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye, Ashi. We gotta talk.